Hello, sir.
Hi,
Yeah, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Yeah, we are glad to be here today with
Yes.
this interview. Sorry, what's the name, sir?
My name is BD Adibolu Esquire.
Okay, so how many years have you been in this?
I've been practicing for a while.
Which law firm?
So I work with Edford Chambers
Okay,
at Magodo.
okay.
So,
Okay, so today we are going to be asking questions about rent in Lagos
okay.
because we've been to the streets and people have their complaints, like public opinions. But
Okay.
now we want to see answers to those questions. And people say, like, can they make laws that will benefit tenants? And landlords too are saying, can they make laws that will benefit them more because people exploit the laws? So can you give us just brief laws that actually bind maybe the landlord or the tenant?
So basically, when it comes to Lagos State, the laws that guides majorly is the land Lagos State Tenancy Law of 2011. That being said, it is the law is for both the tenant and
And
the landlord. It is not like it is treating towards the landlord's side alone or that of the tenant.
tenants, okay.
It is just to strike a balance when it comes to relationship between landlord
And
and
tenants.
the tenant. So, and the other one is the land use act. There's land use act. There's recovery of premises. So, so every of this law is um, the aim of this law is to strike a balance, not to favor one party at the expense of the other party.
Okay. Okay, so the first question, like from the streets, the first question is that does the landlord have the right to increase rent at any point in time?
So, generally, under the law, there is something that it should be included in your tenancy agreement, which is the rent review clause. That is to allow parties to know these are certain things that must be put into consideration
Mm.
before rent can be increased.
Mm.
And also, if at any point you feel that the rent increase is um, absurd,
Mm.
you can apply to the courts
Okay.
for rent review.
Okay.
In situations like that, the court will consider how much other occupants around that area
Happy.
are paying,
Okay.
and if it's they deem it fit that this price is actually absurd, then they will review it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't think a lot of people know that
Yes.
that they can review. So the second question I'll be asking is that for landlords,
Okay.
they say that they have the right to evict tenants at, like, when they increase and the tenant doesn't want to pay, they say they have the right to evict the tenants because they own the house. So
That
that's the
is
one question.
that is very wrong. Under the law, you don't have a right as the landlord, even though the property is yours, you don't have the right to evict. It is only the court that has the right to evict. So normally you give notice to your tenants
Mm,
depending on what type of tenancy you have.
mm,
If it if it is yearly tenant, you give 6 month notice.
okay,
After the expiration of that 6 months, you give what we call owner 7 days owner's intention
okay,
to recover premises.
okay,
That is, you're giving the supposed tenant who is holding the tenant the property at will because the person's rent has expired. So you give them 7 days notice of owner's intention
mm,
to apply to recover premises.
mm,
After the expiration of the 7 days, you now apply to court. Now, when the matter gets to court, parties will be heard and all. So it is after the court has given judgments,
mm,
either in the favor of the tenant or the
no,
landlord, before the landlord. Another thing people don't know is a landlord that evicts a tenant forcefully is liable to either 3 months imprisonment
mm,
or a fine of 100,000 naira.
mm,
So you cannot just say, "Oh, because it's my property,
mm,
I want to evict you."
mm. Okay. So then I have another question.
What's that?
Okay. The question is based on the fact that um in you said that in a particular area the amount that they pay, that they will use it, like if they go to the courts they use the amount to like rather determine how much the person should pay. So the main thing is that can the courts actually mandate an amount after they have reviewed the process of how can the court mandate amounts that this is the you should not pay more than this. This is the amount you should.
So the court is not going to say you should not increase.
Okay,
You can increase the rent,
but you
but
shouldn't
you
go
cannot
above
increase in an absurd manner.
money.
Someone cannot be paying 5 million now, and you are increasing the rent from 5 million to 20 million.
Mm.
It is rather very
Don't even go
absurd.
that astronomical value. Let's say someone that's paying like 700K. Can the landlord do 1.5, 2 million?
That 2 million is a bit absurd. Without so another thing that happens when it comes to increment of rent is if there was a repair done, or like the state of the apartment has it been increased to a certain, you cannot be, the apartment cannot be the same, and you're increasing the rent from like 700,000 to 1.52 million.
Okay, so if there's
That's like going like close to 300%. If you're doing 2 million, that's like 300%.
okay, if there's like a renovation, you have the right to like
No, depending on the state, you cannot be using, for example, an asbestos, and the person has increased to maybe POP, and you say you're still paying the same rent, except if the person has the fear of God or loves you. But anything aside that, the person can increase, but you can increase, but you cannot just increase in an absurd manner. That's just it.
Okay, as a legal practitioner, are there any laws that you feel like the government should put in place to protect tenants, landlords?
So if
That
I'm
from your own perspective.
if I'm going to say anything, it should be a law as regards this what's it called, agency caution and
Okay, I wanted to ask a question. Does in the laws, the Lagos State law, does it have anything like agency?
so now the thing is this, you pay for agreement, and the agreement is meant to be 10% of what you are paying. Like if your rent is 2 million, the agreement is meant to be 200,000. But now the problem is this: when it comes to all these agents, that's why you see most times they say the tenant is very lean, the landlord is a bit fat, then the agent is very fat, because they feed off people's hard-earned money. Instead of maintaining the 10%, some will even charge above. If your rent is not up to 1 million, they will tell you, we are not making enough money. How will I settle for 100,000? So the rent is 1 million, caution is 250,000, this and that. So on a normal day, there should be a law, and there should be punishment
For
for people that
go above.
go against this particular law, so that people can have, like, you cannot pay 3 million and your house will be empty after paying 3 million, because you've spent majority of your hard-earned money trying to pay agents for. And another thing I feel is this that people don't talk about well, it is the caution fee is towards if you damage anything at all. But the practice here in Lagos is the fact that even when you leave the house without damaging anything, they don't refund that. So I feel there should be a law mandating landlords to refund. The caution fee is for repairs of anything damaged in the house. So I feel there should be, even though there is a that particular side, it's not totally signable. We need a law that can be enforced easily.
Okay, so those are the about agents.
Okay.
Are they recognized by the law?
So the thing is, there is Laspera or Lacera, something
Okay.
that has to do with real estate in Lagos State.
Okay.
And for you to be a real estate, you must register with them. So, and real estate it is more like an agent.
Yeah.
So now the thing is, in Lagos, they are recognized. So I believe under the law, they are even recognized. So you cannot just say, but now there should be a way to curtail how these agents are moving, because they are moving in a way that is.
Do you think there are any laws that can help bind them, like something that can be put in place to help them?
So another thing is, um, before you can even pass any law, it has to get to the Lagos State House of Assembly and all. So I feel if there is another law or bill at the Lagos State House of Assembly that has been there since 2025, and